We are going live, apparently. We're live. We're live. Look at that. Hope you're well. Hello, everybody. If you're there, I'm just making sure everything's set up because... Hey, Jerry, how you doing? I think this is working. Is that working? Hang on. Mute, edit. Okay, well, I'm assuming I'm working. Is this mic working? I don't know. We're going to give it a go, though. Needless to say, hope you're all well. I'm using a different setup today than I normally do, so I kind of figured we'll see how things go. It seems to be working, but it doesn't also give me any options. Two. Okay, that's good. All right, well, that's better than nothing, I suppose. Let's just make sure I've got everything on here. Yes. Good stuff. Well, this is a kind of Saturday stream that I'm bizarrely doing. I was just going to go home, and then I thought I need to do some unboxing. So I kind of feel like it's probably worth doing that live. And if you're thinking about buying a Bambu Labs P1P, I spoke to a friend of mine yesterday, and he said, what's the best budget printer to go for that's kind of middle range, not quite budget, you know, the kind of thing that people are looking for. And with the P1P and the Bambu Legs X1 Carbon, it just reminded me that some of these people are never, ever going to feel the pain of having to level a bed with springs. And they're never going to have to feel the pain of trying to work out why some of the issues with the prints are down to something that maybe they've done. It's weird. It's kind of a weird kind of vibe. But anyway, never mind. I look wonderful. Gosh, look at that. Bonjour. Hello. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. So anyway, as you already know, and if you've been watching anything on the channel as of late, you would have seen that recently I've been doing the battle droid in the background there. As you can see, he's got a different head on today because I've been printing some other bits and pieces. This was printed on the Bambu Labs equipment over the past couple of days. That was a 4-day print. And then on the 5th day, we built. So that's what's been going on with that. The pit droid is now on the X1, is it, Jerry? Awesome. I can't, unfortunately with this, I can't put up the pins, I don't think. Can I pin the message? There you go. I can pin the message. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so you're doing the pit droid. And I have the pit droid parts here as well. They're all kind of ready to go. So that was printed. This is the Polymaker Poly Smooth. So the idea of this is I'm going to obviously put it all together, and then I'm going to treat it with IPA and see what happens with that. And of course, so we've got the servo part inside of here. And I've noticed online as well, a couple of the guys have got servo arms, so you can kind of move, you know, bits and pieces around with an RC. So maybe we'll give that a go as well. But yes, bizarrely, I kind of figured that perhaps for some of the projects that I want to do, I might need a couple more printers. So yeah, nice lighted desk. Thank you very much, Muse3D. Hello, Axel. Hello, Phil. Hope you're well, mate. Fire Dragon 3D. Hope you're well. Hello. So, yeah. So I'm interested. So part of this stream, I just wanted to see if I went via YouTube rather than going via StreamYard, if the quality's any better. Cool. Hello, the Happy Extruder. Yeah, so I wanted to see if the quality's any better. And as you know, last time I was undoing some P1Ps. It wasn't that good. So long story short, we're going to unbox some stuff. So let's crack on. So it won't be that interesting to you, but it might be. You never know. So I think there's a couple of version changes. And the reason I think that is because this box, and I don't want to get all boxy like Lightspeed, but this box and this box are slightly different. So I don't know if that's a box change or perhaps the printers are slightly different. We just don't know. I don't even know if they've done any revisions on any of their equipment. Hello, Offset Maker Lab. Hope you're well, sir. Good morning, good morning. Do I still use the V-Minion? Yes, I do. And in fact, the V-Minion, so this is the RatRig V-Minion you're talking about, that has, I believe, just gone for a version change with the RatRig OS. So in the corner of the room, I've got two V-cores. One's the original V-core with the upgrade path to put it up to a 3.1 or whatever it is. And the other one's a 400. So one's 500, the big one. And then the middle size one is the 400, which is the V-Core 3, which has just got all the upgrades. And then obviously the RatRig V-Minion is still at home. So as you may or may not know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, this is the new studio, and I'm still trying to get things bedded in. The internet connection here has been pretty awful. So I'm still trying to work things out with that. We've got a Starlink coming over, I think, next week. So hopefully this stream will be ever so much slightly better. But yes, to answer your question, I do still use that. It's the it's the new Bambu Labs studio. And incidentally, this week, I've noticed quite a few people doing it with the plates, you know, the concrete plates that they put on the bottom of the printers. I've done that on two of them to see if there's any, if it's going to make any difference. So just so you're aware, behind me is basically where all the, or sorry, in front of me is basically where all the printers live. And if you can hear any noise, that's probably what that is whirring around in the background at the minute. But from what I can see here, I can see 3 P1Ps and a Bambu Labs X1 Carbon. I got hold of another 2 P1Ps because of the type of work that I do. Generally, you could do it on a Prusa, which is what I previously had been doing, or you could do it on a Losbot. So I've got a 747 and I've got a Losbot, I've got a 747 and I've got a Workhorse here. So when I'm doing kind of any kind of big engineering parts, then generally it tends to go on the Losbot. But, you know, the Bambu Lab stuff is coming on pretty well at the minute. So, yeah, here we go. Hello, Jeff. Hope you're well. My internet connection is now perfect, so that's awesome. About pricing, so do you recommend to take the P1P or a V-Minion? I know it's not the same price as the build. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? With any of these processes that people go through is, well, what are you actually looking to print? And as I said, when we just opened up onto this stream, you know, there's going to become a day where people won't know the pain of some of the pain that we've had in the last 5 years of going, oh, how do I level a bed? Because ultimately, if everybody starts going in the Bambu Labs direction, no one will know the pain, or new people won't know the pain that we faced with trying to level a bed and, you know, prints that didn't work. And all that kind of stuff, you know. I think it's like learned behavior, isn't it? I think when you ever get an upgrade, it's a bit like winding down your windows, you know, with the old window winder. You don't have that anymore. They're all electric, of course. So, yeah, I don't know, really. It depends very much on what you're looking to print. As you know, the V-Minion, it's a bed slinger, but it runs really fast. But again, you've got the 200. This is 256. This is 256. So from a size point of view, or is it 180? I can't even remember now. I think it might be a 180 or a 200. But even those are still quite small. This week I was offered another printer as a Core XY box printer, and I think the build volume on it was like 140. And I'm like, I can review it, but what am I going to use it for? And I think, you know, you get two issues when you're doing reviews is, first of all, where am I going to put the machine and what's the end of life? So once you've done the review, actually, am I going to use it longer term? The next thing is, it's all right having 50 machines in a room, but you've also then got to have filament to fuel it. So if Polymaker sent you 3 kilos on a 3 kilo spool, then you're not going to be able to have that on across 3 machines. You're only going to have across, you know, across one machine, of course. So I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. What does this say? I think you have too many bamboos. I'll take the one. Yeah, I do like them though. I've got to be honest. The Bambu Lab stuff is just really good. And anyone that's maybe on the fence about it, I'll tell you a little bit about why I like them. And it's all to do with workflow. So when I was building the pit droid behind me, which now the battle droid rather behind me, which now you can't see, this guy here. here. When I was building him, again, the print time for that was 4 days. But in the video, as I said, I probably could have done it in 3 days if printers were in the vicinity so I could change. So some people, maybe you're this kind of sad, but some people, and I've done it in the past, I might get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, change the print over because the workflow is important to me. Whereas with this, and because I don't live near where I am with the studio, I'm about half an hour away each way. So to come in and mess about is a bit of a pain. And the other thing is time management. So if I've got filament, and in the room here, I've got 3 kilo spools. If I've got filament, but nothing on the print bed, I can still go home, I can slice what I want and then just send to the printer. And then when I get back in here the next day, of course, the prints are generally finished by that time. But, for the Bambu Labs P1P, I had Prussias before, and obviously I've got 2 Losbots still. And the reason that I got rid of the Prussias is because these things are about 3 times faster, and I can send remotely. There's cameras you can install. I know you can do that via Raspberry Pis and all that. There's always the argument that people have with that. But this as an out-of-box solution is just mad. You can go with, the LDO kit is still up on the shelf. I'm still waiting for the Polymaker filament to arrive for that. You could make a Voron. You could build something, whatever. But for people that just want to use a 3D printer because they've got an idea, maybe they're a CAD person rather than a person that wants to build a kit, it kind of makes a difference. What does this say here? All the reviews I see on the Bambu Labs are pretty good. Yes, hi Pete, hope you're well. Everything I've seen, they're cracking printers. I just wish they did a slightly bigger one. I totally agree. Yeah, 256, isn't it? 256, 256. It might be out quite soon. I couldn't possibly tell you any more than that, really. I mean, I didn't think the P1P was going to be out till Q2 of this year. And it was just there, and it's madness. And the fact that these, like I say, the fact that these things collect your Wi-Fi, you can view them remotely. If something goes wrong, it tells you. Blah blah blah. All right, you can go with the X1 Carbon. Maybe if you're into the all the bells and whistles, or if you want to print a certain type of filament, the P1P still does the AMS, so you can still print 16 colors with this printer for a fraction of the X1 Carbon price. And then of course. And if you're on the Thangs at the moment, they're doing a competition, which myself, Jim Edge, and Brian Vines are involved with the judging of that. We're looking for designs for people that have kind of made stuff for these printers. And, I'm really glad to be part of that. So I'm seeing some really interesting designs that people are coming up with. But from a bones machine, I think you can't, at the moment, you can't beat it. So there you go. I love my Prussias, but I won't go back. I think the XL is too late. You're right. I think you're right. It's a shame, really. But the thing is with that, it's a tool changer. So it's a bit like saying, let's have a bed slinger versus let's having an IDEX. So if you wanted to blend material, so for the Death Racers, what I really wanted to do was put PETG as a core, but TPU as an external cover. Now, to do that with the Bambu Labs, you'll be wasting tons of filament. It'd cost you more than it's worth doing. But with an IDEX, of course, the head can come out. It can just print that one little bit. It can go back, do the same thing. And of course, the tool changer from Prusia, I think for people that want to print in that way, I think it's still a really good viable option. But if it was out last year, I think that would have been brilliant. The fact that it's not, and these guys have kind of magicked these machines out. And don't get me wrong, Bambu Labs aren't without some of their issues. They do still have a few problems. I know there are some flat bed issues that have sort of come out, but you tend to find on the forums and on Facebook that people are tending to moan and cry louder than the people that are actually having really good experiences with them. And from my point of view, I've had 2 issues. You've seen them actually. One was with the AMS. We needed to change the slot out. Bambu were really, really good at just replying. I went through the normal routes. I didn't get fast tracked because I'm working with them or anything like that. You deal with support. They come through. They tell you what they're going to do. You test this. You do that. We did the test, obviously, on the live stream. And it is what it is. So I had that. And then there was another issue with, I can't remember what the other issue was now. But it was minor, whatever the problems were. I haven't cancelled my XL pre-order, but I'm definitely less excited about it now. I'd still be excited. I still would be excited about the Prusa XL. I think it's going to be a cool printer to have. But you know, if you go to E3D and look at their tool changing printer that they came out with 4 years ago, it's basically built off that technology. So it's not anything new, but as I've already proved with this, to build a battle droid inside of 4 days that normally takes people 6 weeks. All right, I appreciate that I've got a few printers here, but what about an R2D2 in a day? Imagine that. See what happens. Right, let's get into this anyway. Enough of this lollygagging. I haven't quite got a good enough angle here, have I? No. All right, we're just going to... any discount codes or affiliate links for the Bambu? I heard, Chris, there's a rumor going around that they are going to start introducing affiliate links because at this point in time, I don't think you're going to see anybody getting more free machines for review. Everybody's done those to death. I haven't done a review on this. You know, they asked me not to. They said, well, it's out there, but they just want to see people using it and stuff. So, you know, that's in a nutshell what it's about. R2 in a day, that's a future goal. I'd love to do it. Imagine doing it. So the other thing is, I've got a couple of things going on at the minute with what I want to call world record attempts. And I've got a loan machine coming, which is a 1200 by 600 Core XY. This thing is so big that it won't be able to go in this room because it won't physically be able to be fitted up the stairs or through the door. So it's 1200 by 600 as a plate. And then, of course, you then have got the printer externally of that. And that is going to be for how can I put it? It's going to be for like a go-kart style thing. So watch this space. Worth subscribing, maybe. See what happens. Right, anyway, let's move on. Let's cut this open. Let's use the box on the box. The other thing you might have seen is Stephen Lightspeed talking about the box issue, keeping your box. It would have been exactly the same, and Lozbot tell you to keep your box just in case there's any issues. I don't agree with them keeping them long term, but hey, if you think you're going to have some issues, maybe keep a box back. I don't know. Don't know. Ta-da! Look at that. Fresh, lovely printers. Right, what have we got in the bottom? A load of boxing stuff. Let's put that away. Shall I do one at a time or shall I do them both at the same time? Let's have a little look. Here we go. Right, what does this say here? Is this a desk review? No, it's not, but you might see one coming up soon. I might have been doing some recording for that today. So watch this space. Perfect. I love a good feel. Don't we all? What's this? Any discount out in a day? Yeah. Keep the boxes and make a bamboo wall display. I could do that, couldn't I? Yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see. How that goes. So the dilemma, or one of the dilemmas that I've got, is obviously I named the other P1Ps after the Three Stooges. So we've got Lucky Ned and what's the other one called? I'll find it. Devices. Dusty. So we've got those three. So the problem that I've got now, of course, is what's this? Keep them away from Sam. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So the problem I've got now is if we've got 5 P1Ps, what is a 5? You could have the Jackson 5s. Is that right? Can we do that? I don't know. Jackson 5. Let me know in the comments. what else could we have? So with the P1P, as you may or may not know, you do get one full roll of filament. On the X1 Carbon, you don't get a full roll of filament. And I don't know why that is, because obviously it's vastly more expensive than the P1P. Afternoon, Cockle. Hello, Rogue Gumshield. Trust you're well. Okay, there's a few of you watching now. Maybe give this video a little like if you don't mind. Members of the Bad Batch. Well, that's not a bad idea. What else have we got here? Yeah, I don't know. But I needed to get these out of the box anyway. They had to come out today, really. Otherwise, it was all going to be a bit of a disaster. So here we are. This is the PLA mat. This has got an RFID chip in it. So if you buy one of the printers that has an RFID on the AMS, that will then pick it up and it'll tell you the color and it'll tell you what that is. So obviously we know it's PLA because it's written on the box, but that's what that does. Inside of the box, let's see if we can do an upscale part here. You do have the little screen, which is here. It's not quite as good as the X1 Carbon screen. It's a kind of very basic, but it's still better than the old dot matrix screens you used to get on the Enders. And of course, you get this lovely plethora of parts here, including the rear spool holder. You get a spare nozzle here. You get a bunch of other bits and pieces in here. What else have we got? That's for the shell, if you decide to print one of those. And we've got some slicey bits. We've got some screwy bits. And of course, most importantly here, we do have the Allen key. And you will need the Allen key to separate some of the parts in a minute on the bed because everything's locked in place. We've got a, come out. We've got a plug here. There he is, lovely plug. And we've got a box of instructions here, disclaimer, other bits and bobs. There's nothing else in there, I don't think. It's just to protect the screen. Again, very well protected here. Kind of happy. Oh, look at that, different view. Different view. So is this a case of seeing one? You've seen them all. See, I've just seen that. Thanks, Zombie Hedgehog. Really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Oh, nice banana. Have you seen those banana cleaning machines? Have a look on TikTok, banana cleaning machine. It's next level. Next level. What have we got here? How's the Trident going? Jeff, the Trident is going very slowly because I am waiting on Polymaker to send me the filament. And they are sending me, I believe, they're sending me a pallet. So I've got to wait for a pallet of filament to come from Europe and China. And that hopefully will see me through for 2 to 3 weeks, maybe. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I am waiting on them, annoyingly. So it is what it is. So we're just going to cut some of these parts off. There we go. And as I said a moment ago, if you want to win a P1P, Fangs has got you covered right now. Myself, as I say, Jim from the Edge of Tech and Brian Vines, we're judges on this awesome journey with Fangs. And basically, it's a design competition, I guess you could call it. And you're designing parts for the P1P. And what I really want to see, is a 3 kilo spool holder that maybe goes on the back or the side. That's what I want. That might not be what Jim wants. Jim might want something much more lavish. I don't know. Maybe he wants a banana cleaner. Check those out on TikTok. Okay, that's good. Strange Liam had vertical lines on his P1Ps. I tell you what, Liam doesn't even know how to print. That's the problem with Liam. No, it's not. I'm sure it's something that could be resolved. I don't know why he's having those issues, but like I said, I've got these concrete blocks underneath my P1Ps, and well, as you saw on the droid building video, you know, I've got no lines or anything like that on my stuff. So, common denominator here is user error. It might not be. I'm going to try and get onto your channel later as well, Jerry. I'm going to try and pop in. What's this? I'm starting to hate my Cobra Plus. The Cobra Plus, I'll jump back on that in a minute. The Cobra Plus, I have 2 of those and only one works. The other one has loads of issues with the sensor, the bed leveling sensor. It just doesn't work. It's pretty poor. But the Cobra Max, which I have down on the floor there, is a really good printer. So if you're looking for big scale printers, let's talk about that real quick. So the Anycubic Cobra Max is a good printer. However, the LEU Neptune 3 Max, which I've just done a review on, is better for the price. You've got a PEI sheet. It looks better. It's direct drive. It's slightly bigger. And it's got a drawer on the front of it, if that tickles your fancy. The other thing I've got coming out, which is actually stuck in customs at the moment, is the Creality CRM4, and I've been waiting for nearly a month for it to arrive. Frank from Frankly Built has got one. I know there's a couple of other content creators that have just got them. It hasn't been a big push for those guys because obviously it's an industrial machine. But, you know, some of the stuff that I do here is industrial, so I wanted one. So we can wait and see if that actually ever turns up. It may not. We'll have to wait and see. I'm enjoying the speeds and the quality of my Voron 2.4 and just finishing a Voron. Okay. Ooh. Which R2 event is that then, Darren? I'm starting to have okay, we're doing that. Love a printer. That's a good bit. Yeah. I mean, that's the key, isn't it? Jim wants to turn his P1P into a desk. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Love that. Okay, so don't forget, guys, to take out your screws. I sort of half wish that Bambu Labs had maybe been a bit more thoughtful with some of the screws on these things. So what if, and this could be something for the design competition, what if you took these screws out, but they screwed into something else to hold something else on? That would have been a good thing. I think, anyway. So we got 3 screws, one at the left-hand side. Let's see if we can push this onto here. Here we go. So you've got 3 screws here. They're demarked by these little red arrows. There's 1, 2, and then there's one at the back here, which you can maybe just about see. It's down here. I'll undo that one now. You might have to take the bed off to see that one. Tricky little sucker. Let's just undo that real quick. There we go. He is off. So as you can see in the bottom of here is, hang on. As you can see in the bottom of here, we have got some of this filler stuff as well to keep the bed in place here. And this stuff will come out when the bed rises eventually. The other thing that not many people have mentioned is on, how can I show you this? Is that good? No, it's not. It's kind of okay. Right. So behind here, and if you got onto the early bird, and you might not be able to see it. No, you can't. Let's try it from here. Okay. So up here on this little panel here, there is a USB connector. It's what they, general USB connector. Now you can plug a camera into that, and that will basically allow you to stream on your Bambu Labs software. So on your device manager or your Bambu Handy, that will allow you to do that. If you take this off, there's also a connector there that you can plug a small 5-volt light into, and you can turn that on and off as you wish, also inside the system files as well. A lot of people have done lighting throughout the whole top of this part. And then, of course, Bambu Labs also brought out a 720p camera that isn't the best. Sorry, my Discord's going mad now. Let me turn that off. It isn't the best camera, but if you're just wanting to check to make sure your print is working and it's not a complete catastrophe, then that is not such a bad thing to have, I would suggest. It'd be a great idea if the Bambu Labs sold the X1 panels in matte black for the P1P. You know what? It really would be. Oh, look at that. It's tripod. Let's have a look. Sorry, let's have a look here. Megacon, hopefully. Okay, cool. Tune in. Always lots and lots of questions about printing. Well, you know, this is what I wanted to do at Celebration. I wanted to take some stuff along, but you know, I don't think it's going to happen. So the event's going to happen, but I don't think me taking anything along is going to happen. So I could have done a battle droid in 3 days. Just saying. I love the idea of modding the P1P paddles. Is there anything smaller for the X1? Oh, sorry, anything similar for the X1? I don't know. I don't know is the answer to that one. I wish I knew, but I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those things. This is a bit like getting a kit car and then putting a Ferrari or a Lamborghini body on it, you know? That's how I look at these things. I think 3D printing has always been a little bit like car modification. You know, you could design a nice exhaust for the poop chute. You stick some neons on it. You tune it this way, you tune it that way. And I think this is very much going to be the modder's printer. And although I guess there's one thing, like at least with extrusion, like a bit of 2020 or 2040, at least you could have made it bigger ultimately. Or if you had a CR10 S5, you could have made that into a box and made it really stable. You're kind of limited by the design here because this is all made inside of one part. So I don't know. So SD card is in the top. They have just run an update actually on this. And the update is basically when the SD card starts going bad or it gives errors, it lets you know. And then you've got to format the card again. And it won't run another print until that's done. I've only had it happen once. I don't think on these ones the quality of the card is that great. It's just a normal black little mini SD card. I think it's 32 gig as well. But that's that. And on the front here, all we do is just clip that sucker in like so. He says, come on, you can do it. Hey, that's weird. It's because it's upside down. Deary me. It's been one of those days today. It's because I had a late night. Let's pop it in. He's being tricky. Come on. There you go. Just like that. So, I think that's it. Let's plug it in. See what happens. Why not a pit? Do it. Do it. So if you go over to Thangs, if you look at their competition page, you'll see all the details. But basically, it's something that's got to be original. It doesn't have to be panels. I think they sort of made it look like it needed to be panels. Like I say, if someone wants to design, because I'm not a CAD guy, but if someone wants to design a 3 kilo spool that goes on the back, I'll print it 5 times. That's how many times I'll print it. At least 5 times. Right, let's plug this in. The camera may go off for a second while I do this. We're good. Looks like I've got here just in the time for the first power up. You have. And then you're just in time again for the second power up because we've got another one sitting down here as well. So let's see if the camera goes off. It didn't. Let's have a little look here. Before you use, please make sure that you've read the user manual carefully. Let's hit next. Wait for 3 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Next. Where are we? Well, let's select Europe, even though we're not in Europe anymore. Okay. Let's go and scan this. Again, one of the big issues is the name. What am I going to call this? And I think really and truly, the other three P1Ps I've got here need to be renamed as well. There are only 4 Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles and Ninja Turtles, weren't there? I don't like the Beatles. I'm not a big fan of the Beatles. Was there a 5th Beatle? Can't remember. Right, Bambu anyway. So the Bambu Handy app is here. And depending on what you're using it for, I can show you MC Jammer at the moment. That is very carefully and conscientiously printing at the minute in the background. This is printing the Iron Man helmet that Frank from Frankly Built suggested to me a couple of days ago. So that's a little sneaky peek as to what else is going on here. So there we go. So what we do is we're going to add another device. So there's a little plus at the top here, and we're going to add a printer. And it's going to start thinking about it. Now, if you look down the bottom here, there is you can't really see it. I know it's not zoomed in enough, guys, but there is a little Bluetooth connection here, and it's going to say, hello, you're there. Read and accept. It's going to link it to my account. And we're going to bind this now. And after a few seconds, it's going to ask for my Wi-Fi now. My Wi-Fi is not complicated. Let's hit the bind button. See what happens. Jerry, Bobby, Phil, Billy, and Pigpen. I thought it said pigeon for a second then. I love the bamboo slicer. I mean, yeah, Jerry, you're right. It is awesome. Pete Best. Here we go. Right. Please confirm that you have removed the 3 screws. So it's told you not once, but twice. Log on successful. Okay, so what we're going to do very quickly now is we're going to update the software because it has had about 4 or 5. I don't know when this one was built. I don't think it tells me on the box when this one was built. But we're going to do a upgrade on this now, I think. It's now saying, it now wants to do a self-test. So let's have a look at what the self-test is. And hopefully it won't. Yeah, I think it's trying to do an update now. Okay, ignore. Ignore. Yes, I mean, that's one of the issues. You see, this is badged out as 15 minutes and you're ready to go. The problem with that, of course, though, is if it's got to do an update, it might be another 5 or 10 minutes on top of that. Let's see what's going on. Okay, well, we're online. We can see each other. Let's see if we can move the bed up. Doesn't want to play. I think it might be doing an update in the background. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. It's doing something. This is tense, isn't it? How do you feel? How are you feeling out there, guys? Feeling tense? I'll check the chat in just a minute. Let's have a look and see what else we've got here. Back. Okay, let's have a look at firmware. Yes, the firmware is 0.1. So that's brand spanking. It might do a self-test now. Let's have a look. Okay, so when this lifts up, I'm going to whip out this white stuff, the packaging from below. It's now looking to do an auto calibration now. What's it saying in the chat? Do you have the same issue as Uncle Jesse with a small spin controller that freezes sometimes with the other P1Ps? No, I do not. That is specifically... Oh, there you go. The firmware has been successfully updated. It's because I'm far too impatient. But it's still saying 1.1. Let's see what happens now. No, I don't have that issue. I know he had... Here we go. We're lifting up now. Whip this out. Uncle Jesse has had a few issues with his P1P, and I don't know why, if I'm honest. It's a tricky one. I don't know why. I don't know what he's done or how that's happened or anything along those lines. But I've not experienced that at all. How's it down there? What's this say here? How is it down there? Did you get any snow? I got a very small amount of snow. I was on the Isle of Wight, which is it's not even really anything to shout about. I was on the Isle of Wight, which is a small island sort of south of the UK. And I was on there and we got no snow at all. 0 snow. And then when we came back, we had a very small amount of snow. So that's no joke. They don't get any better than that, friends. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm just going to put the screws on the back here. Probably should lean this on something flat, shouldn't I? Like that. There we go. So right now it's doing its resonance test. As you can hear, it sounds like something vibrating. There we go. What have we got here? 7 dwarfs. Okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Name your printers after your YouTube channel. 7 dwarfs, episode 1 through 5. Okay, we've been through that one. Something Blackpool. The only issue Sam has is P1Ps are going like bunnies and multiplying. You're right, they are. I don't want to talk about the snow. Sadly, no snow here in Vegas. The wife's toothbrush. Is that what they call it? I thought a bike went past. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, quick question about your speed and control between the VCore 3 and you have the P1P. Again, Axel, it's going to be very much down to you. Do you want to build a 3D printer? Yes, I do. No, I don't. If you don't want to build a 3D printer, ta-da! If you want to have support, ta-da! If you want to have controlled software modifications that you do yourself, it depends what you want. And again, I think people are quite closed-minded about some of this stuff, because if you just want to 3D print and not mess about too much, and you still will need to mess about with this, there will still be days where you'll need to take the belts off and you'll need to reconfigure things, and that's why the wiki's there, that's why all that. Here we go again. Depends what you're into. And I did that little baby Voron build, and I was like, why am I doing this? Because I'm going to get no results out of this. It's a tiny little build plate. I'm told that the LDO Trident is a much easier build. And again, it's Core XY, it's Clipper, it's fast, it's a 300. Depends what you want to do. And of course, when we first started looking at, or when I first started looking at the rat rig stuff, a few years ago, it was because we wanted to build or print R2D2 domes, because you need a 465 mil at least build plate to kind of build that. And obviously the 500 had that. So that was why we went in that direction at that time. But having said that, depends what you want to print. And of course, then you've got software like Luben, where you can take a model, you can slice it down, you can scale it up, and then you can join it all together. Again, this was built in 4 days. The Battle Droid was built in 4 days, printed 4 days across 4 P1Ps using 12 kilos of polymaker filament. It's sort of like I don't know, it's mad. I don't think you necessarily need to have a huge printer to print big things. I think you just need to maybe have the right kind of glue and the right filament. But yeah, if you want to build one, do it. 100% do it. 100% do it. But speak to any Voron user, and I bet you they say, yeah, there's a lot of messing around and there's a lot of configuring. And when things go wrong, I've got to fix it. I can't go and ring someone and go, hey, you know what? This isn't working anymore. Hope you've kept your box because you might need to return it. I don't know. It's very much down to the individual. I have to say that, I'm afraid. So there we go. We're doing another update now. This is from 0.1.1.00 to 0.2.2. So that's now updating on that one. Happy days are here again. Let's have a look. Hey, Matt, hope you're well. You will love the Trident. I really want to love it. But again, I'm just waiting on the filament. What's going on, Polymaker? I think I think the fact that I've got these printers, they're like, do you know what? It's going to cost us a small fortune to keep sending this guy filament. So hence the reason that they're sending some big parts over to me. So that's good. What's this? This is for the scraper. Where are the screws? That's some thermal paste. What else do we have here? These are for the brackets. This is for the wiper. This is for the spool holder. There we go. I understand your point. Explanation is very clear. I'll say the P1P. Yeah, I mean, that's. Oh, God. The AMS. Okay, this is the other thing. So Bambu Labs sent me the X1 carbon, right? And I'm hugely grateful for that. But I guarantee you I will use that less because generally with the things that I print, I end up painting them. So they sent me an 8-color AMS changeover, Dubry Watsit thing, which is on the printer now. But right now it's using PLA from Polymaker, 3 kilos above it because it doesn't fit in the AMS. And I don't even know if that modification that everyone's been doing will take a 3 kilo. It can't. It won't take a 3 kilo. It'll just do the expanse of other rogue filaments that they've seen. And that's what this is all about, isn't it? It's about that community, pulling these things together, people having an idea and going, hey, you know what? What about if we did this? Yeah, right. That's what 3D printing is about. Right, I'm going to whack this on the back. No, I'm not. Got to take a screw out. Let's take that screw out, pop this in. Well, thank you again for joining me on a Saturday. It's not over yet, though, of course. Got plenty more to do. Hi, Jose. How you doing? Hope you're well. What's this here? Right, hang on a second. Let me just read through the comments here. Saw the droid. Thank you. It looks great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Can you print the battle droid head in one piece on the Bambu? No, you cannot. You have to do it in 3 pieces because it just physically will not fit. The body also needs to be done in several pieces, but the reason I did it the way I did it was because I had the printers available to do the job that needed to be done. So the head is printed in 3 parts. In fact, I'll show you that in a second. Once I get this screw in. Hang on. So, pit droid head here, as you can see. So you've got the nose part, and you see a little separator there. So that's 1 part. Then you've got the full head, that's 2. And then this part on the back, that's 3. And then these parts are printed separately then as well. So 3 part for the head. And then the little, what I would call dreadlocks. I don't know if that's the correct term, but that's what I'm calling them. The dreadlocks. Right, what else have we got here? I think it boils down to if you want to build a car or just drive it. You know what? That is completely right. And I used the car analogy so many times from messing around modifying cars years ago. You know, oh, I'm going to put some new alloy wheels on it. I'm going to upgrade the suspension. I'm going to chip it. You do what you want to do. It's your machine. That's part of the allure of this machine is you can customize it however you want to customize it. And one of the reasons that I've not put any panels or anything like that on this yet is purely and simply because I haven't decided what I want yet. And when I do, of course, then I'll upgrade it. I was kind of almost in two minds about taking two of these machines home and actually having printers at home again, but I'm not paying for the electricity bill here, so. Oh yeah. Right, so here we are. This is the PLA Matte. This comes with every P1P that you buy brand spanking new from Bambu Labs. It's nice stuff. It's really nice stuff. In fact, the Imperial Probe Droid Studio version that I've printed is printed in this. Might have just dropped a bit of a clanger there because if you know, you know. But I won't mention anything else on that. Let's load this in. And you know what? Let's heat this up and let's get this going. Let's print something. Nearly got me then, didn't it? Okay, let's just home this. Let's get some heat into this. I think one of the problems with this screen is I actually can't see what I'm doing with it from that angle. Let's go into the Bambu Labs app again. Here we go. Very simply, let's put that onto 200 degrees, get that warmed up. Done. It's having a play around at the minute. Right, what else have we got here? Who have we got? I think the idea is currently that Bambu are small printers, so they probably didn't consider the 3K. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they didn't consider it. Again, you know, who are the audience? And just because you have something really bespoke that maybe you're making doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to think, you know what, we're going to do that for that person. And again, maybe their logical thinking is, well, everyone's going to buy an AMS because that's the logical thing to do. Maybe you buy a P1P because that's just the cheaper way of doing it. Then you whack an AMS onto it for another $300 or $400, whatever it is. And then you print in 4 colors. Or, you know, again, not everybody has the ability to be able to, you know, the poop shoot's a good example of that, because not everybody has the ability to be, you know, able to have their printer poop at the back of the printer. Again, same goes with the filament. You know, are you loading that on the side or are you loading that on the back? Not everybody has. It might not look aesthetically pleasing if it's got to be, you know, whipped around the other way. The setup I've got here is that it's on a shelving unit, and I've got access to the front and I've got access to the back, and that is purely because of the Bambu Labs printer. That's not because every other printer that I've got here is different. The Bambu Labs is different. That's start, middle, and end. I think personally the poop chute probably should have been on the side, but then you get to the point where you're going, well, which side should it be in? What should we do with this? The other thing that the P1P and the X1 Carbon is missing is, and I'd love someone to come up with this, is a auto bed ejection system that takes the print off of the bed. Years ago, we used to write G code that when the print had finished, it would knock the print off and then it would then start again. Now, obviously, 9 times out of 10, that didn't work properly because you normally smash stuff off or it fell on the floor or it got jammed or whatever. Then you have remnants on the bed and it doesn't print properly. Whatever the issue might have been, there was probably a good reason why we didn't carry on doing those things. But some sort of bed ejection system would be amazing. What else have we got here? My part print, the droid looks epic. Thank you, mate. Yeah. How's my wife and son doing? My wife and son are good. My son is especially good. And he's awesome. Thank you very much for asking. Are you using a DSLR or webcam right now? I'm using a mirrorless camera, and they're all Sony mirrorless cameras. I've got the, I can't remember what this one's called. I'll send you the link later. And on this one, I use That's the 6400. This one's the above cam, which is another Sony, and this is my normal one. What else have we got here? Sam, if you don't want multicolored box from Bambu Labs, can I buy it from you when I get my P1P? It's not that I don't want it. It's the fact that I'll be using 8 different colors on the X1 Carbon, whereas these ones are going to be purely for single color prints. You're right. They didn't consider that, Zombie Hedgehog. You're absolutely right. They didn't consider that whatsoever. Where are we up to? Right. Okay. So I'm just going to extrude a little bit of filament here because I can. Let's try and move this over. Keeps going onto that. I still can't see what I'm doing. Let's move them over. Right. Okay, that's interesting. It seems to not be feeding. Oh no, we're good now. We are good. He says. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that's whacked something on. What can we... it has now got a feeding option. I forgot about that. That's on the latest upgrade. Let's do... Well, we might as well just do a bench here, hadn't we? Let's hit that button and allow it to do its thing. I have also got... Let me get my 3D rack. So for all of my prints, I do use 3D Lac. This is the 3D Lac Plus. Really good stuff. Couple of little squirts of that and we're good to go. Happy days. Yeah, 3D Lac. It's like £8 a bottle, $10 a bottle if you can get it. Hello, everybody. Hang on a minute. Let me just catch up here. Why don't they incorporate a live Z offset? I understand they do have a live Z offset. You can adjust that. You can adjust that. Of course, they do, and seem like great filament. They probably print AMS and Hydra mod. Yeah, probably. I've not installed mine. Cool. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the likes as well. But of course, it's not over yet, is it? Of course, because now this one has a slightly different box. I'm not imagining for 1 second that it's going to be a different style printer or have a different board in it or whatever. It's going to be the same printer, I'm sure it is. It's probably going to have the same upgrade issue that I've just had there. It's just doing its thing at the moment. Hopefully you guys can see that in the shot there. Yeah, 3D Lac on a textured build plate is really lovely. And there's no mess with it either. It's amazing. I'll be honest, now you can't see me. I mean, maybe that's a better thing. Once you 3D Lac, you never go back. It's a good call. It is a good call. Right, let me just move some stuff around here a little bit. Here we go. Stream is looking great now. Was it not for a second then? Again, guys, I'm just trying to work out whether or not going through, sorry about all the noise, going through StreamYard. I know it goes in at 720, but sometimes it's easier just to sort of pull people in and stuff. I want to go over to OBS, but I don't know. I'm a little bit paranoid about it. You know what you know, and I understand what I understand. And going through that change is always a concern. But we should be, I think we should be in 1080p. We're still going through the Atom Mini, which is just down here. So we should be in 1080p. And hopefully when I do more live streams, which is, again, what I want to try and do on a Saturday is try and do a couple of little live streams, show you what's come in, show you what's unboxed, all that kind of stuff, show you what I'm working on. Let's move this stuff out again. I'm so grateful for having room behind me, because when I was doing this in the house, especially if you get a big printer, it was an absolute nightmare. So there we go. So again, I'm going to say it again, just in case you're just here, brand new. This is the Bambu Labs P1P from Bambu Labs. It's a printer that I think is absolutely great. And what I will say is Thangs are giving away, if you go to thangs.com, they're giving away a P1P to somebody who can design an awesome part for this printer. A lot of people are saying about putting the sides on and the fronts and all that kind of stuff. What if, for instance, you had like a, do you know Mathmos used to do the blob thing that goes up and down in here? Maybe we could do some sort of crazy LEDs on this part of the printer. Nice big spool holder, 3 kilos on the side here. That would work. Maybe if something on top. Don't know. What do you think? What would you make? Let me know in the comments. Apologies, we are vibrating over in the corner there, just as we're about to start bed leveling on P1P number 1. Right then, let's have a look here. Home unfortunate bits now. The Bambu Lids liquid glue stuff has been working for me. Okay. I haven't used the liquid glue. They haven't sent me any of that. It's very early in Las Vegas there, Jerry. I have some makers, Mistress Adhesive. I don't know what that is. It sounds good though. Find it works great for me. Did you say? I think it was me. What? Did you say? Did you say anything to me? Anything? Anything to you? I said about the AMS system, and if you missed that, you're going to have to rewind it. Can you take a second to explain how the Live Z? Yeah, sure. So, hang on a minute. I think you can do it on the app. Hang on a minute. So, let's have a look here. Bear with me. Okay. So on the app, let's pick this over to here. You should be able to, oh, you can't see it. That's a pain, isn't it? Can you see it? There we go. Your Z settings are on here. So you should be able to pin them up and down. That's when it's going, of course. At the moment, it's not going. So you should be able to change it from that point. And it surprises me, though, if you have had an issue, I'd like to know, actually, if you have had an issue with the Z there, like how far do you think it's off the bed? Because on the ones I've got here, I've had no issues with that. Certainly on the leveling. So I'd be interested to find out a little bit more about that. Sorry about my writing. It's all right, mate. Don't worry about that. Lurking. Oh, yeah. The spool hop. Light spool hop is a problem. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? When it jumps out. I've had that a few times. It's kind of annoying. This time, though, I will take out this little bit of packaging here that I nearly forgot last time. And again, just like before, we've got those 3 screws. Because you don't get just one P1P with me, you normally get 2. And that right tripod. Greg, reach out to me and let's go through that Z hop situation. I'm on Facebook and wherever else you may or may not be, or find my email on YouTube. I'm happy to help you out there. Yes, they are. The Fusion 360 files for the P1P are out there. 100% they are out there. If you go and either Google it or if you look at Thang's last tweet about it, someone asked and I put the link on it, but it's on the Bambu Labs site at the bottom. There's a step file for it, I believe. Oh, okay. That's Jimmy Edge. Doing a little bit of work with Jimmy Edge at the moment. That'll all come to light pretty soon. Audio sync is off, is it? Uh-oh. Wonder what we can do about that then. Hang on then. Unmute. Maybe I should shut some things down. Hang on a minute. To be fair, I've got quite a lot open on here at the minute. Let's close that. And let's close that. And let's close that. Bear with me, guys. 2 seconds. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, let's get rid of that. I don't know if that's... It might just be the way it is from now. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It was working really well, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden it's not. Okay, audio sync is off. Yeah, got that. With daylight savings overnight, will it make the printer 1 hour faster? It might do, depending on your time zone. Watching my phone watching on my phone is perfect. And just a few minutes ago, I thought it might. You know what? I don't know why it's doing that. I do apologize. That's kind of frustrating. It was quite good before, wasn't it? Annoying. Let's have a quick look here and see if I can knock the stream off and put it back on again. See, this is the thing, you see? This is why we try these things. Interesting. All right, well, I think we're just going to have to get on with it because I don't really... Oh, what should I do? If I reopen this in another window, will it just all go to hell? So I can go out to Creator Studio. It's okay, Jerry. Do not worry. We are here today for you. It's fine. Okay. I wonder if... Right. Is that any better? Is that any better? Mistyped a few letters. Okay, is that any better? Yeah. So what that was is I didn't have the power plug plugged into my laptop. And I think it was just about to die. So thank you for pointing that one out. Otherwise, the stream would have just gone off and people would have wondered what actually happened to me. I'm sure there would have been no tears, though, so it's all good. Right, so we're unboxing this next one anyway. Again, like I said before, Thangs has got a P1P to give away. Very excited. If I was a CAD designer or if I had a bright idea, I would be taking part in that competition as well because the P1P is an excellent printer as long as you don't get one that's been previously owned by Liam because I think truthfully, the Chinese government have got it in for him. And the reason that you guys in America have had those Chinese weather balloons over is to basically spy on Liam and his spaceship stuff that he likes to do. So, Astro Printer. Okay, right. Let's have a look here. We're back in the room. We're back in the room. Right, let's undo this box. Again, this is just like deja vu. We've got the PLA Basic from Bambu Labs. We've got a screen from Bambu Labs. And then, of course, in the bottom here, we have got all the bits and pieces that we're going to need to put on. Hang on. There we go. Power plug. Look at that. I'm enjoying myself. This is maybe like I should just do this as a professional thing. Just unboxing stuff. Like, what if I was on QVC or something? That'd be amazing. I'd love that. Here we go then. Right, so let's whack this on. See what we get. I've just had a text from Jim from the Edge of Tech. He doesn't know I'm doing a stream, so I'm going to text him back. Just on a stream, slagging you off. Only on YouTube. There we go. Okay, so we've got the 3 screws out. We've got to plug this doofer into the top here. This is well away with the fairies in the background there. We've got to now pop on the screws for the spool holder, which are just here. Slagging him off big time. Jim's wobbly desk. That's phenomenal, man. I'm looking forward to seeing Jim and Murph this year. I really am looking forward to seeing him. I think we might see him, if it's still good with tripod, we might see him a few days before Murph. Keep forgetting to unscrew that screw, don't I? Love those vibrators, baby. Woo! All right. There we go. Hang on, I've got another text from him. What does he say? I'm getting ready for a swim class. I'm getting ready for a swim class. No worries. Oh, okay. This is something else. This is something we're doing a little collab on something. Wait until you see this. It's going to be amazing. When can Matt German come over? Is that for the vibrating stuff or? Matt, you'd have to get someone to drive you here. You don't drive. Right, so I am taking my sweet-ass time at doing this stuff. But you can get this up and running in around 20 minutes with the update, I would say. I still need to have a really good think about... Oh, it's still slightly out, isn't it? Still need to have a little think about what I'm going to name these things. And the other thing is, like, I don't know. I know which one's Ned. Ned is on the far left. The other two I'm always a bit hazy about. Whatever. Okay, what have we got here? What can I unplug? What can I unplug? Hang on a minute. Where does that even go? That goes into that. Can't unplug that one. Where does this go to? Look in there. I can unplug this one. we go. Matt, you're talking a bit like Yoda at the moment, which I can come. Rinson says, bringing my first racer to Murph. I cannot wait to see that. Very excited. Can't imagine Jim swimming on a wobbly desk. My wife drives there. Is an ocean between here and America. Laugh out loud. On my PC now with a real keyboard. Even if I can drive, it would take me probably 2 weeks. Thanks, Yoda. Love that. Loving that. So, let's get straight on with this one, shall we? Let's do the old power up. Pop, on he goes. There we go. We did get a black screen there. It did knock the camera out for a second, didn't it? Okay. That's the baby. I know he doesn't drive. I think he got banned, didn't he? Okay, so let's plug this sucker in as well. Better actually put the screen on first, hadn't I? Always forget something, Sam. Come on now. You would have thought by now. Nope. Let's move this round. I won't lie to you, though. It is starting to get a little bit cramped in here. And in a minute, if I can, I'll spin the old camera around in a minute and let you see what's going on behind me or in front of me. Here we go. That was nice and easy. Right, let's just remove this little bit here for the SD card. There he goes. Right, let's just double check everything has been unplugged and replugged. It has. Let's whip that one back on then. I'll just turn it to me for a little bit. Okay. Please make sure that you are ready and you have read your user manual carefully. Hit next. Wait for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. What's this? Driver to Ken. I am not. Jerry, I don't think a real keyboard helped. Just as well they don't measure the earthquake tremors around your area. Yeah, you know what? It is very vibratory here at the moment. Is Chris just sing that? Laugh out loud. People are talking about keyboards. I love that. Okay, where are we? We are in Europe. Okay, so let's get the old Bambu handy out again. See what we've got going on today. And we're going to press the plus again. And we've already found the unbound device. I don't mind Bambu Labs knowing a few little details about me. So we'll click yes and yes on that one. I'm going to connect to my Wi-Fi here, which is Jim Loves Desks 01. Oh boy, I can't wait for you to see what's coming up. Honestly, it's going to be so much fun. So much fun. What are the dimensions of my studio? So in this room, we've got 12 meters by 8, I think, in this room. 12 meters by 8. That sounds about right. Okay, before you use, let's run some self-test routines to check the status of your printer. Self-testing. Oh, here we go. Right, let's whip this out. Whip. Mr. V, I can't tell you. I can't tell you that. You have to wait and see. You have to wait and see. But knowing Jim, it'll always be fun and games, whatever he sets his mind to. So I'm in awe of everything that he does. I think Sam is in his business, which is bigger than... yeah, it is pretty big down here. What have we got here? You can't drive because you've got PTSD. Can't drive either. Let me fly a plane or sail a ship. Oh, come on, Matt. What about a scooter? Thought about maybe a scooter? So how's that Benchy getting on? Can we see another view? Let's have a look at that Benchy. There he is, look. Slightly out of focus, Benchy. Is he going to focus? Wow, that's awful focus, isn't it? Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll have a little pan round. You can see what's going on behind me. So mention there's almost cooked. And then behind me, we've got some more P1Ps. And we've got printers down below. We've got printers up above. We've got printers around the corner. So, yeah, plenty of printers there to say the least. Let's move this in a little bit. See what's going on. As I say, I didn't want to do things by halves. So there you go. So that is that for the minute. What does this say? Tell us what you're doing with the edge of tech. I think you're doing a lithophane. No, I've never printed one of those, actually. Would you ever consider doing a video on your business, walk around? Possibly, Jerry. A part of what we do in the business here is we do a lot with security. So there are parts of the building now, certainly as we moved into this building, that are not accessible to the public, and only certain members of staff are kind of allowed into that area. So and kind of where you come through that area and then up into the studio is, through that area. So it was just going to be these rooms, because there's basically two of these rooms. And then there's a caged area, and then there's the big warehouse, and then there's all the lean-to and the outside and all that kind of crazy stuff. We had some redundant space, which is why we were kind of like, what are we going to do with it? And I was like, you know what I could do? I could put a load of printers up there. And in the other room, I think I'm going to put the CNC machine in there. I'll see if I get a message about that, because sometimes my business partner watches what I'm doing, occasionally. Just checking the messages here. Jim has not said anything more, which is nice. What's this say? What's that? Oh, I've just gone live. That's told me that about 2 hours ago. Amazon's been delivered. That's good. Get the big CNC going. I think the Bambu will not come out good with a lithophane. Speed equals lines. But you can slow it down, though. You don't have to go fast. There you go. That's print's done. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That's a boat. That is a boat for you right there. That is a boat. Meanwhile, though, on this printer here, we are just about to start the self-test. So I'm going to move it over slightly. Let's have a look at this boat, if you can. Pick that little line off. Man, that's stuck. That's 3D lac for you on a brand new plate. That's really stuck. It's not bad. It's not bad. And we'll add that to the Bambu Labs little baby Benchy prints that I've got up there. So let's see where we're up to with this now. See if it's still doing its self-test. Enjoy your printer. Thank you very much. Shall we just do a quick... No, we need to do the update on this, I think. Unless it's already done it. I can't remember. And it needs to do the update. Update now. Doing the update. There we go. So the update on that, I think it just allows you to do things like the auto loading of the filament and a few other little tasty fixes. I think that it did. I did read there's a new Bambu Labs version for the slicer as well now. And yeah, I think it just updated that as well. There you go. There you go, Matt. My lithos turned out nicely on my X1 carbon, full color and mono. There you have it. Pretty damn good. Very, very pleasing. Very pleasing. So that's that. In regards to these two, now it's a case of finding where I'm going to put them. It's a weird problem to have, I suppose. But, so in regards to this over an X1 carbon, obviously with the X1 carbon, you do have a few more bells and whistles. You have your LiDAR, if that's a real thing. And obviously you do various checks and stuff. But of course, if you're using a PEI sheet, which I do on mine, it doesn't measure that correctly. So it's sort of a pointless thing if you're using a PEI sheet. And, you know, other than the camera and obviously being fully enclosed and having a glass top and a glass front and having a hardened nozzle, which you can buy anyway. And again, like I say, on the P1Ps, you do get a secondary nozzle here. They are currently proprietary, but for how long? And I know there's a couple of companies on Amazon that are already selling non-proprietary ones, or ones that you can put a Revo system onto, which is kind of cool. So watch this space and see what happens with that, I guess. Any mods coming to the Death Racers? Yes, 100% there are mods coming to the Death Racers, and I'll tell you exactly what they are. One particular one will be on the front. It will be able to flip your competition. So if someone comes up on you, tries to crash into you, the idea is that the plate will flip and push that person over. So the danger, of course, with that is that if they do run and catch you awkwardly, it will knock your head off. So there's a kind of compromise between the two there. But if you remember when Jim and Pooch kind of had that sort of standoff, if the one of the weapons didn't work, or if, you know, things were just hanging on, that potentially could mean that that flips that person, and off the back of that, they would then win potentially. So it won't do a... How's the flying one coming? The flying one is good. I had a couple of chats and a couple of meetings with Earth, and they were still a little bit worried about my my thoughts around that. But I would like to bring that to Earth still, and I would like to show that off a bit more and see what we get. I'm just going to double check this and make sure that we've got the right software. It's still not updated fully yet. It said it did, but then it didn't. Okay, that's fine. What else we got here? Double check this again. Firmware. Okay, that didn't update for some reason. I think I'm going to do a reset on this. See if it comes back up again. Oh, look who it is. Look, it's little Jimmy Edge. Little Jimmy Edge of the desk. Bless him. I heard my name and standoff in one sentence, and I appeared. If Pooch's racers would have been sitting up, then he would have been out. Leo, you're right, actually, he would have been. Yeah, the video blinked because I just reset the P1P, actually. And the reason for that is because I wanted to see what was going on with the firmware on this one, because it said it updated, but it didn't. It's now updating again now. Hey, that's weird. So here we go. That's it. 0% now. Here we go. So we're just going to update this one now. Nice with a desk comment straight out of the gate. Yeah, we love that. Yeah, exactly, Jim. No wobble on this baby. Built by hand. There's a helicopter currently going over at the moment. That sounds interesting. So there we go. So the first one's done. This one is now updating, or at 66%. And again, like I said before, Fangs are giving away a P1P. Jim and myself and Brian Vines are on the judging panel for that. We're looking for the biggest and best designs that you can come up with for your P1P. And again, all the stuff, all the information, all the step files, et cetera, are available. I saw a really cool Joker setup and a really cool Panda setup for the P1P just a couple of days ago. I am looking. I go on there every day and have a look and see what people are posting up. Again, 3 kilo spool holder, like a really cool one for my filament would be incredible. I've got one. I've got them sitting above the other printers at the minute, but if something was on the back, yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that a lot. What else do I want? 3 kilo spool, check. Yeah. What else do I want? I'd love, like I say, something that just sits down here, but it has a light in it. And that light could maybe plug into the panel here. It's like a JST connector here. Just a bit of finesse for the printer here. I mean, the other thing could be, of course, that what if we put like a 3 kilo spool above, because I've got plenty of room above the printer here. So if that 3 kilo spool just sat here beautifully, but I don't know. It's, it's what do the people want? Do we want to give the people what they really want? Do they know what they want? We're just rebooting now. Here we go. Got a list going now. I love that. Trying to lure me in with that. Oh, okay. I think Jim desk is great. Frico Sport. What else we got here? Notice that your desk glows. Oh, yeah. I like that. Here we go. Right then. The firmware has been updated. Okay. That's good. And I think we're just going to go. So now, once that's updated, it should go into. There should be a feeding setting here. Feed me, Seymour, feed me. It's really difficult to see. Here we go. Fan on, fan off, feeding, load. So when you load this now, so this is part of the new setup. It then immediately goes to 250 degrees because why not boil PLA? And then it's going to load. I think 250 degrees is a little bit excessive. But I tell you what, it's 132 degrees already, and it was only at 19 before. It's 161 now. That is quick. Really, really quick to heat up. Incredible. So hopefully we're going to do a little poo now. And by that, I mean the printer is going to do a little poo. So a minute ago, Jim, there was a few people mentioning you going swimming because I read your message out. Now I'm just thinking about that on how maybe will you dress? I'm thinking like an all-in-one number, like a wrestler. Okay, we're loading here. We're loading. Tell us how. Here we go. Done. That was easy. That was really easy. Love that. Tell you what, the Bambu Labs printers just get better and better, don't they? So that's a puzzle. That's a benchy. I'm going to keep it real by putting another benchy on. Let's whack a bit of this down. One squirt does the lot. Thank you very much. We're going to do a little test on that in a second. Right, let's have a look at these Speedos. Whoa, imagine that. Oh, sorry, a little bit of sick came up then. I do apologize. Have you ever seen the movie Free Willy? Yeah, he had like a weird little fin, didn't he? Little like it was sort of folded round, didn't it? Free Willy. I'm not saying anything, but maybe you've got a little funny thing. Maybe. The less is more concept. I tell you what, that's a good point. Does the coffee scented coloured filament make the bamboo poo more? I hoped it would. I hoped it would. I'm going to try and catch some of this poo when it comes out. It's just extruding itself at the moment. Let's have a look. See, I was in two minds about doing this stream today, and I was like, oh, should I just go home? Oh, should I just go home? Oh, whatever. And then things just started happening, and glad I came on. So thank you for being part of that, guys. So we are now I'm going to try and catch the poo in my hand here. That's what I'm cupping behind. Here we go. Whee, look at that. Look at that. Nice bit of bamboo poo there. Now, I thought it might have burned the filament, but it seemingly has not. Okay, well, that's good. Chuck that on the floor. Sweep that up later. Okay, so we're about to start this print now. It's going to do its bed leveling, its little tests and all the other bits and pieces that it needs to do. What have we got here? Lots and lots of messages here. What's this say? The pool was cold. God. No design ideas from this conversation, please. The P1P Speedos edition, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Oh, shark bait. Blimey. Yeah, sure. So, Chris, why have I picked the P1P over the X1 Carbon 1? 100% is down to cost, because I felt that my audience would probably go for a P1P over an X1 Carbon, and the reason for that is because certainly when it comes to printing things like battle droids and R2s or any of those kinds of things, generally you print in one color. I think the rule of thumb has always sort of tended to be you print in one color or a variety of colors using the cheapest filament that money can buy. The reality is actually if you buy cheap, you buy twice. So a good quality polymaker, here we go, plugging things again. A good quality filament will always do you proud, of course. And that being the case, I would say the P1P for the filaments that I use, which is mainly PETG and PLA plus or PLA, it works really well for that. And, if someone comes up with a really good design on fangs, I might just coat all 5 of these machines in a silky blanket of lovely goodness, PLA or PETG, and coat them all in that fabulous, luscious design that someone's come up with, if that's what ends up winning, or if I feel like this is the best thing. Of course, previously, if you've had an ender or if you've had any kind of bed slinging machine, you would have been trying to print maybe ABS, and then you might have needed to put a box over the top of it, or you might have needed to do whatever. If you want to do that, then probably the X1 Carbon is good for that. Don't forget as well, of course, the AMS system will work across both of these printers, and I can see the ecosystem of this being I don't think they're ever going to produce a printer, or I wouldn't see the reason why they would produce a printer that only just did one kind of color of filament. The fact that it doesn't come with it, and it's around, I think it's 679 in the UK. That for me kind of is, cheaper than a Prusa, faster than a Prusa. All right, not cheaper than an Ender 3, but certainly faster than an Ender 3 and probably more reliable than an Ender 3 with all the bells and whistles. And like I say, the workflow for me across the range is a game changer. The fact that I can edit stuff from home, send it, upload it to the cloud, let the printer download it, and have cameras and have all the other necessary bits and pieces that, my workflow works with, it makes my life easier. So these things are very much about that. I certainly am not going to get into, what's right and what's wrong about, should you keep a box? Should you not keep a box? Should you, the ecosystem's locked down. I don't care about that sort of stuff because I'm not messing around with it. If it works, it works. If you have to play around with it, then you have to play around with it. And, I've been doing 3D printing for 5 years now. Yeah, I've built them. Yeah, I've clipperized them. Yeah, I've done all these other bits and pieces, but I just want to print it that works at the end of the day. Certainly if I'm designing something with the Prusa, and why I use a Prusa, previously I had 2 of them, is because I just wanted to push the button and walk away from it. This does the same thing. Hopefully that answers your question, but all depends on the materials you're looking to do. And to be honest with you, X1 Carbon with all the bells and whistles versus a P1P, why does it matter? Does it matter? I don't know. Let's have a look. TPU Speedos. Christ on a bike. That's a sight for sore eyes, isn't it? Blimey. Okay. Whew. Did you hear they're bringing out new Saw movies? I haven't heard that. What have we got here? Oh, Jim loves his P1P. I'm hoping for a 350. I think everybody is hoping for a 350 or larger. I think one of the things you've got to remember is that, you're not going to get an increased speed at that level. I think you're just going to get what you're going to get. I mean, this is madness, really. And to print that entire droid, which you can't even see in the background, because that's how brilliantly I set up the shot for today. So, see if I can move him around. There he is. Hopefully there won't be any complaints about where I was just grabbing. Printed that whole thing in 4 days using 4 Bambu P1Ps, actually 3 Bambu P1Ps, and the next one carbon, and 3 kilo filaments times 4 Polymaker PLA. So there you go. Right, what's all this about? Can't wait for my P1P. My wife won it on the edge. Oh, really? Is that what happened? I didn't know who you won it from. I bought one, used it for 2 days, bought another one. It's so good. The new firmware update is also a bunch of features that we should needed. Yeah, those features are I think they're going to be good. I think there's still room. This is what makes it still quite exciting to own one of these. It's like, well, there's an update. What's it going to be for? Because it's already pretty quick, right? And it kind of works well. Unless you're Liam from Astro Printer. Not that I keep going on about him or anything. Not that it's an obsession. Same speed on a huge preview. It would be. What do you think the best? Hang on. What do you think the best? Okay, Matt's talking in Yoda's language again. What thing is best on the P1P to last the longest before replacing any parts? I don't know. Nozzle, I guess. I think if you start getting poor quality parts, I think you're going to know that your nozzle's going to be packing up. Let's swish this round. It's so nice. Oh my God, it is so nice. These things are. I think that's what you need. If you're an engineer and you print stuff, you make stuff, you want to, I think it's aesthetically pleasing. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have it in the living room, but you never know what Bambu Labs might come out with next, of course. I mean, I think it's inevitable, but I've not heard anything. Fact, I've not heard anything. I would imagine it's probably still in the works. They've done their, did they not raise like $7 million from the Kickstarter? And then they had a million or so given to them for R&D. I think they're going to be all right. It makes a logical sense to expand this. But inside of this ecosystem, again, if you're building a Voron, you're building it out of extrusion pipe. That extrusion can be modified. So you could break that down and make it into something else. With this, you can't do that. It is, all right, you can take the sides off perhaps, and, it's not a kit printer. It will only really do this one size. I can't see why or how maybe, someone that's really super smart will come up with something and then go, hey, you know what, you can do this and whatever. But the size is what the size is. And to be honest, it's done Creality and it's done Prusa well for many, many years. It's obscenely quick. Scary, isn't it? It's really scary. Right, what we got here? Setup look nice and simple, no hair pulling out at all. Bamboo IDEX. I mean, that would be really clever, wouldn't it? I'd buy that. Yeah, setup is nice and simple. Row gun shield. Honestly, it's really difficult to review another machine that's a bed slinger right now. All the stuff's been done. All the stuff has been done. Oh, we can put clipper on it. Well, you could put clipper on it 3 years ago. Oh, we got twinsies. You could have done twinsies 5 years ago. Oh, well, we're going to put a PI sheet 3 years ago. Well, we're going to put on... There's nothing more that you can do on that bed slinger market that hasn't already been done. And it's a tough challenge out there, you know. I'm saying no to a lot of stuff because it's, you know, how can you big something up that is about a year's time, I reckon you're going to see something that's going to maybe better this. But it's coming out of that mindset, I think, more than anything else, is that, you know, they've got that mindset now. We want to be, if you saw the original stuff on Kickstarter, we want to be better. We don't want to be messing around. It's come from an ecosystem of people that have used 3D printers and they're engineers. They're all engineers. So, you know, the next thing around working stuff out is like customer service. And actually, I think the customer service is very good. Not everybody has a positive experience. You can go to a car dealership, you can go to McDonald's, you can go anywhere to a shop and not have a positive experience. So unfortunately, what we're finding is there's a lot of people that are shouting loudest and saying, well, I'm not getting good customer service out of there. Bambu Labs don't know what they're doing. Well, the harsh reality is actually they're learning. They're all still learning. And because this thing is so different, and it is different. Oh, it's closed source. It's... I don't care about that stuff. I just don't care. Oh, they said if they went bust. This is the greatest one. I love this one. They said if they went bust, then they would release the source code. Again, I couldn't give a monkeys. Couldn't care less. I just want it to work. And again, you know, there is a risk around it. What if the company did go bust? Well, then what happens to the cloud stuff? Well, probably someone would scoop in and go, hey, you know what? Here's a patch. Download this on your SD card, whack it into the printer, and maybe that'd be an additional extra. I'd quite happily pay for that to be able to monitor it remotely and do all that kind of crazy stuff. I would very happily pay for that. What's this? If we're doing that, we're going to have a living room. Oh, okay. This is IDEX. I need 2 to win. Hello there. Hello, Amanda. James, I'm really sorry. My screen is really small. I'm surprised how much I like the Bambu slicer as well. I thought it would end up trying to. Yeah, you know what? It's really different, isn't it? But it's good. Dora Dang did go to Bambu Labs, actually. She's in support. I'm in the UK and just got a P1P. It's my first printer. What are the best practices to keep it fresh and operating well? Well, I'll tell you exactly what to do. Probably go to Jim at the Edge of Tech and see some of his P1P videos. He makes different content to what I do, and he is centralizing around maintenance of the P1P, and his stuff is very good. The other alternative to that, of course, is when you do start experiencing problems, which inevitably you will do because it's a machine and, you know, ultimately they need to be maintained. You can't forget that. You know, the carbon rods are going to need to be wiped down, you know, once a week probably. You need to make sure that these rods and stuff are, lubricated. Again, with the beds on these things as well, you know, make sure you're washing them. They normally say like soapy water is good. I've not had to wash any of my beds yet. Touch wood. And I guess things like, you know, because this thing does shake around, you can see how much shake you've got on that. I've put these onto concrete slabs now, 2 of them on it so far. Obviously, I've got a few more here now, so I need to obviously buy some more of those and see if you get any differences with the, with the print quality. And print quality is key here. But no, not really. I haven't really had to do anything with it. I had one case where a bit of filament got stuck. And all I did with that is I got a blowtorch. I heated the end of one of these wrenches, whacked it into the thing, and then just pulled the filament out. Easy. Yep, there you go. So Jim's your man for the front of house stuff. You know, I wouldn't copy the stuff he does because it's already out there. What's the point in doing that? My stuff is kind of making big things. So these machines are going to be used for a 3D printed go-kart that I'm going to be working on, and of which we hope to do a world record. This thing should do about 60 miles an hour. Then once we've got that out of the way, the files will be released and you can download these things yourself. It probably won't do 60 mile an hour because we're going to restrict some of the motors because we don't want people hurting themselves. But yeah, so it's all about, for me, it's all about printing big things. And again, Roger back here is one of those things. Again, I'm 5'11". I think he's just over 6 foot. And then we've got some more stuff coming out. Jerry is also doing a pit droid. I've got a pit droid printed out here. Just needs to be assembled. I'm also doing the Imperial Pro droid, which is it's a small version of it, and it's a studio version of that. But yeah, the idea of this is just being able to have the workflow that I need to be able to be agile with what I'm making. So why have more than one, even though it's ridiculously quick? Well, this is now a farm. Don't know how many machines you really need to become a farm. And in fact, I thought about this the other day. This isn't a farm at all. This is a zoo. And maybe I'll start wearing like a zookeeper's outfit on the streams, see what happens. What have we got here? Right, bear with me. Yeah, Jim says there's a really good wiki page for almost everything. There is. Sometimes, though, and the reason that people watch YouTube content is because they want to follow along with some instructions that someone else is giving them guidance on. So, for instance, Jim might say, hey, well, this is how you do this with a Bowden tube, or this is how you move this around, or, you know, he's quite, I nearly said athletic. He's quite animated with the things he does, especially on, such great desks that he also reviews as well. I've had mine on a 4-inch slab. Okay, and then you added some foam. That's really interesting. Yeah, James, that's really interesting because, like I said, I've just done that. I've got 4 slabs. I've put 2 on them so far. I'm doing an Iron Man mask that I spoke to Frank from Frankly Builds about. He said this is the one you want to go for, so I'm currently doing that. That's going to be in a future video, and we're going to animate it and do all the paint and all the bits and pieces on it as well. So. But again, the quality is key, especially if you're printing stuff that needs to be painted, because otherwise you're going to be forever filling and puttying and spraying and mucking about with it. I'm doing a Vader helmet at the moment as well, which was done on the Elegoo Neptune 3 Max. That's come out really, really well. And I was just painting this afternoon. I was just painting the dome on it, and I got a little bit of paint run, and I just can't let that lie. So that's got to be sanded back and restarted again. So massive, massive issue. See you later, Jim. Enjoy your swimming lessons. Can't believe Jim has not learned to swim until the tender age of nearly on 42. Jim and I are actually the same age, and I've been able to swim since I was about 4. But Jim, he didn't learn to swim when he was little, and it's to do with the location where he's at. He's out in Milwaukee, I think, and he had a bad experience at the local swimming baths. I won't. It's his story. I won't go to. If you see him though, if you see him out and about, ask him about what happened when he was a child at the swimming baths. Moving swiftly on. So Dora is over at Bambu Labs. She's on support. She's not doing anything with. She's not doing anything with. Marketing. It literally is support out of China. I can swim with one leg. KM41. Yeah. Taking the little guy. Relatively space launch in just over 30 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you've got a space launch. I'm not really into that. I don't know why. It never really sort of tickled my fancy. But hopefully this will be finished and we can end the stream. As soon as this benchy's done, I can whip it off the bed and we're away with it. But there you go. Yeah, so as I say, if you do see Jim out and about, ask him what happened at the swimming baths when he was a young boy. It's not my story to tell. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so I read that and I saw a load of people commenting on the 3D printing parts. Who was the company that provided the prints or actually did the prints on that? And what material was it? If you need to see me beached on the shore, just roll me into the water. See you later, Jim. Also, I'll ping you that video. I don't know why you can't get access to it. I'll email it back over to you. You've not recorded your bit anyway, so don't worry. But I'll ping that over to you later. Bye, Jim. Love you. So we're nearly there. We're now going to be doing some bridging. See if we can get a better shot on this. Not that shot. Can really smell the molten plastic over here right now. Right, Royer in water and a bag of Oreos. Ah, Offset Makers Lab. Thank you very much for your $5. Take care, dude. We'll see you soon. You gotta love it. Dino Nugget. I should have had the P1P. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you've got the P1P coming, dude. Let me know how you get on with the P1P. Like I say, I think they're cool, man. I think they're brilliant. So lots of projects coming up on this. So make sure if you're not already subscribed to the channel, maybe do that. You know, if you feel like it. Unlike a lot of these other YouTubers that have long hair and are hippies, that's not how I roll. It's not a... Oh, look at that. It's Phil, 3DP UK. Lovely Phil. He's got a bad leg at the moment. Hopefully, we're going to get Phil over to the studio and we're going to maybe do some unboxing together. In the UK, there was a magician many years ago called Paul Daniels. So Paul Daniels had a lovely assistant called Debbie McGee. It was also his wife. She's still alive. Paul unfortunately died a few years ago. And, well, to put it mildly, Phil is my Debbie McGee. What happens off camera, of course, just happens off camera. Phil, if you haven't already been to his website, 3DP UK, he does a lot of live streaming and reviews, basically with his shirt off. One for the ladies. He doesn't. He does a lot of live streaming. The shirt off bit was the bit. Yeah. What's hair? Yeah, exactly. See, Jerry, you know, mine's going slowly. Used to work for a magician. Real character for sure. Oh, okay. What's your favourite magician? I like a bit of David Blaine back in the day. And UK, there's Dynamo. Although he's kind of fallen off the planet a little bit now. Look at that. Look how quick this bloody thing is. 22-minute benchy here, friends. So as soon as this is done, we're going to probably end the stream. Right, here we go. So we've got a few more questions here. If you've got any questions, get them in now. P1P or X1 carbon, what to buy? Listen, if you have the money, and you want an enclosed printer, X1 carbon with the AMS is a really good printer. If you want the same kind of results, it's finished already. Look at that. If you want the same kind of results, you want the same kind of ecosystem, you want the same slicer, you want the same abilities to be able to connect to Wi-Fi and also send your prints remotely. P1P. If you want a PEI sheet bed, this comes standard with it. The P1P comes standard with that. It also comes with a roll of Bambu Labs PLA filament. The X1 Carbon doesn't. It comes with a token roll of 250 grams, which, yeah, what's that all about? And again, the reason, it's a bit like, if any of you guys do anything with resin printing, I do a very small amount of resin printing. But the great thing about resin printing is that screen you've got on there, no matter how many prints you've got, if you're multiplying those things, it all prints exactly the same time. So if you're doing 1 or if you're doing 10, if it fits on that build plate, and for me with the P1Ps, all of these lined up, if I was to do stuff like a print zoo, that's what we're going with here, not print farm, print zoo. If I was to have a print zoo and I just wanted to print the same thing over and over and over, I could do this all day long and, across, how many we got? 4, 5, 6 printers if I wanted to do that. The AMS is available on both printers, of course. So if you want to buy the P1P now, and then later on think, maybe I could actually print in 4 different colors or 16 different colors, then obviously that's an upgrade that you can have later on. Of course, they have made the ecosystem available. So if you wanted side panels, if you wanted to put a top on, if you want to do any of that kind of stuff, the step files are already available. And Thangs right now are doing a competition. It's like the 20th time I've said this, where you can win a P1P. And I'm on the judging panel for that. So check them out, thangs.com, and check out their P1P competition. The idea is that you design something that is going to be a bit more unique for the P1P. And this is, really, it's a designer's dream. But yeah. Personally, I will always probably have more P1Ps than I would have X1 Carbons. A lot of that is because of the price. The X1 Carbon is an awesome machine, but I don't really need LiDAR. I don't really need an enclosure for the PETG. The room that I've got here is pretty warm anyway. And of course, I can print the panels. So if I just print the panels, then I can print a door. There's all these files that are already available. Thangs.com. It's probably the place to start. Printables is another one. There's a lot of stuff on printables, ironically. But yeah, P1P for me is the way forward. What do we have here? Goodies came in the mail. Oh, sounds awesome. Hey, Chris. Hope you're well. Just ordered my P1P yesterday. Awesome. Welcome along, Chris. The X1 Carbon without AMS is £500 more in the UK than a P1P. It absolutely is. And again, you've got to take into consideration as well, the PEI Flex build sheet is £30. Okay. So if you're going to buy that for the X1 Carbon, that's another 30 quid on top. This one comes as standard. You also get a kilo of filament rather than 250 grams. All right. With the AMS, I think you get a load of empty spools, which is, well, I'm not using them, put it that way. I don't know. And there's loads of stuff you can now do with the AMS system, of course. You can now modify that. You can now print different parts out for it for different size spools. If it's small, big, whatever. If it's wide, and what you might find is eventually they might do an industrial application where the AMS ends up being 3 kilo spools instead of the ones. So there's a few limitations there. But again, how much are you going to be able to physically print volume-wise inside of this that's going to require 12 kilos of filament? Probably not very much. Food for thought, though, if someone wants to build it. So that's it. We've printed a Benchy. We've unboxed 2 P1Ps. I'm super excited about it. I do really, really hope that they bring the early bird camera system. I think they're going to send me a couple of camera systems. I think I don't know why they're not selling them. I think they should. I think it's a good mod for it. I do like one of the big things between the P1P and the X1 Carbon is the default settings for things like the camera. Okay, X1 Carbon camera is really good. The P1P camera, it's mediocre. It's a 720 camera over a 1080p camera. Yeah, you can do the time lapses and all that kind of stuff that you normally would do, but at a slightly reduced resolution. That being said, though, of course, I haven't seen another camera setup that's been as good as the X1 Carbon on this machine. I do like just being able to log on and check what I'm printing though. And if it's an absolute mess, I can stop the print and not have to go, oh no, I've just wasted 2 kilos worth of whatever expensive filament that I might be printing with. So that is certainly something that I really, really like about that. But again, it's one of those, it's a builder's printer. You can do what you want with it. It does. Both of these things will shake around all over the place. So you've got to make sure you've got adequate stability below it, which is better than Jim from the Edutech's desk, of course. Let's have a quick look at see if there's any more questions. Just a quick look on things. There seems to be some good designs. I'm not that good. Well, give it a go. Honestly, give it a go. You know, this is what it's all about. The 3 judges. We've already previously spoke about this. I like big spools. So if somebody designed a really cool spool holder for this that even went on the top or on the back or the side, amazing. Not only would I print it, but it would go in my good books. I'm not saying that's going to sway my decision because there's 3 judges at the end of the day. And of course, Jim, TPU Speedos. We spoke about that earlier. He's just going swimming lessons, in fact. Brian, on the other hand, I don't know. Brian's a different character altogether. So maybe he'd want something very, very practical, mathematical, perhaps. Or, I don't know, maybe like what do they call? What do they used to call those things with the, we used to count abacus. Maybe an abacus on the side of it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Let's have a look. Right, what have we got? Great stream. Thank you, guys. Don't need an EMS to read the chip for the color. No, that's fair enough. Really enjoyed the stream. Fish tank sides. I love that. 3 judges, Larry, Mo, and Curly. Whee! Chris, I really hope you enjoy your experience with the P1P. Let me know how you get on. Keep it real. Keep it locked in. If you enjoyed the stream, smash us a little like. Perhaps consider subscribing if you feel the need to. I'm on Twitter, @SamPrentice on Twitter, The Real Sam Prentice everywhere else. This has been awesome. Thank you very much again for joining me, guys. It's been a pleasure to have you along for the ride on this one. And thank you very much to Bambu Labs for providing me again with more awesome 3D printers. Guys, we'll see you next time. Phil, keep your shirt on and hope you have a good the rest of the day. And don't forget that launch is coming up with the space rocket. I'm sure Liam will be out there with his binoculars, getting very excited about that. So we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you. See you later, guys. Bye for now.